I can't believe it's been 7 months since we've been living in Malaysia, and we've been loving it here. So in this video, I'll share some of the things that I miss about New York City, and let's start with food. I would say pizza, of course. Bagel is another one. You know how in New York City there's like that crispy outside and soft on the inside. And here, most of the bagels are just soft all throughout, like rolls. Oh, but you know what I miss a lot? I miss like the Spanish food, oxtail and pernil with yellow rice and beans. They don't have that here. Also, chopped cheese. That's like such a New York thing that you can get at like the corner bodega. And speaking of bodegas, you know, bacon, egg, and cheese. You could easily get that for breakfast in New York City. Here, bacon is not readily available. It's mostly beef bacon instead of pork bacon. I miss that a lot. But on the other hand, food in Malaysia is really good. If you watch other travel vloggers, they'll say the same thing. There's lots of good food in Malaysia. There's so much diversity. You could have Chinese food, Indian food, Malay food. I've been here 7 months now and I feel like I haven't tried everything yet. And I can't say that I miss this too much, but back in New York, people play music out loud, especially in the summer. You don't really hear that here. And of course, the pros would be you could sleep better here. I ended up sweating so much and got a new shirt at the mall. So I was paying for this shirt and the cash register was asking me, is it raining outside? No, man, I was just sweating because it's so hot here in Malaysia. So next on the list of what I miss about New York City is basketball. I play with my friends twice a week over there, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Here, basketball is not as popular, but that also forced me to play other sports. So for example, pickleball, badminton, football, they're more popular here. So I end up playing that instead of basketball. On Saturdays, I play football, which is 9 versus 9, bigger field. And on Monday nights, I play futsal, which is a smaller version of football. It's 5 on 5. And pickleball. Pickleball is really popular right now. I play with my neighbors almost every night. There's a badminton court here at our condo, which the neighbors have pretty much converted into pickleball. So even though I do miss basketball a lot, I like that it forced me to try new sports. So I do miss my scooter and I love riding it. It's a great stress reliever. I was thinking of getting one here, but almost everyone I talk to are against it. They feel like it's not safe, and I kind of agree. It's probably not a great city to ride a motorcycle or a scooter. But on the other hand, getting around KL is pretty easy. Grab is also very affordable here. It's much more affordable than taking an Uber back in New York. And of course, I miss my family. My parents and siblings are still back in New York. I am trying to convince my parents to retire in Asia, not necessarily here in Malaysia. It could be the Philippines. They prefer the US, and if that's where they want to be, I can't do much about it. They are visiting though next year, and I hope they change their mind. So I do miss our dog. She's still with my parents back in the US. If you do some research, KL is not really very dog friendly. Majority of condos don't allow dogs, and even if they do, they'll only allow small breeds. And since we don't have a car here in KL, it's going to be hard to get around, move around the city with our dog. After we sell our house back in New York, we're going to get a car here, which will make it a lot easier for us to travel around if we have our dog here. Because if we have a dog and we try to get a Grab, it's not. Most of the drivers are going to say no. They'll decline the ride. Even public transportation, I've never seen dogs inside a train. I don't think it's allowed either. I'll have to check on that. So I'm a small content creator, but I do get some brand collaborations. Unfortunately, most of the stuff that I get through my email are all based in New York. So if there's like a launch event, it will be most likely in New York. And whenever there's a company that want to reach out and try to provide like a review unit, most of them don't like sending devices to outside of the US. On the other hand, I have started using a package forwarder. It's called Planet Express. So what I do is I give the brands the Planet Express address, which is somewhere in California, and then Planet Express will send that package over to me. So for example, a laptop would cost me about $130 to ship, and then once it arrives in Malaysia, I have to pay like an extra $30 for customs. Also, not all the tech is available here in Malaysia, so I do miss having all the availability back in the US. So for example, the Google Pixel Fold is not available in Malaysia. But also, on the other hand, there are some interesting brands here that are not available in the US. For example, there's Vivo, Oppo, Huawei, and Xiaomi. They make great stuff, and they're not readily available in the US, but they're available here. I do like the Mi store here. So cool. I wasn't aware that they make a lot of stuff. So at the store you could buy like their rice cooker, electric toothbrush, hair dryer. They sell a lot of cool stuff. So what I'll also miss in New York is fall. Fortunately, I was just there a few weeks ago and we got to see it. Here in Malaysia, it's just either hot or raining. Back in New York, there are 4 seasons. And I like fall because it's not too cold, not too hot, and you get to see all the colorful leaves. I guess it's because it reminded me of when we first went to the US. It was around November, I think, and we were driving around and we could see all the leaves, and you just don't see that here in Malaysia. And last but not least, I miss the New York accent, the New York voices. New Yorkers are loud, full of personality, energetic. Here in KL, here in Malaysia, people are soft-spoken, it's quiet, so you don't really hear people talk out loud compared to New York, where you'll hear arguments out loud, you'll hear everyone's business, and I kind of miss that. And also hearing people talk in Spanish, you don't really hear that here. Back in New York, you just, I guess, take it for granted because you hear it almost every day. So those are some of the things that I miss about New York. Sheila's still back in the US. She'll join me in a few weeks. Let us know if you have any questions about moving or living in KL. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.